Well, we are live. It's Saturday morning, of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't be live. But um, what a nice, quiet little day we have. So we think. Obviously, I mean, we go into these quiet Saturdays and think we got something going on. But I mean, hell, Iowa scored a bunch of points last night, so anything's possible. So no, we have a huge week ahead of football. We've got some really fun, exciting matchups I think we're going to be seeing here this week. Um, all starts with the one you saw in the thumbnail. This is the reason you're here, obviously, being the Utah and Texas Tech game today, which I didn't get a chance to preview, but I really should have. This is a huge matchup. We're not going to talk about it quite yet because we're going to save that for a little bit later on down the line here on the show. But there's a few little games like that, a few games that are just so much better than we really think they are. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about them. So, Cam, first off, welcome into the show. It's your first time here on it's your first time here on Armchair Analysis, but certainly won't be the last. For those who don't know, Cam and I, part of Loudmouth CFB, same as BJ was back in the day, and so Cam's a knowledgeable guy, more of a group of five fan, but he's certainly around and he knows a lot, especially when it comes to the West Coast, because he stays up much later than I do to maybe catch the end of some of these. Oh, I know. I've been there. We've been there. Um, no, it's gonna be something. But yeah, we got a big day ahead, and we've got a lot to talk about. But before we get to today's action, let's talk about what happened the last couple of nights. Of course, it all got started 2 nights ago. This damn thing. What a useful app ESPN has. The tabs that when you try to switch it to the full FBS view, it doesn't do it. Dude, it genuinely will not change to a full FBS view. I don't understand. Like, that is the most. And yesterday it worked. Yesterday it worked just fine. That's dude. Let me. Okay. Okay. There we go. I finally got it. All right. So we'll kick it back. Thursday night. Rice and Charlotte. Man, what a war of feelings for that game for me. Especially working down there that night, man. It was pretty crazy seeing all the tailgates going on in that area. I won't say fortunate enough, but I was working up in that area. That was where we were kind of posted the majority of the night, was the university area, and there was a lot of tailgating. There were a lot of students going to the game. I mean, it was a quiet Thursday night, and you know you expected the stadium to be quiet, and truthfully, it wasn't. And when I tell you I was less than a mile away from the stadium, I mean we were less than a mile away from the stadium. For those who don't know the little setup there's a hospital there, and then there's about another quarter mile down the road is a little turn in to go back to the stadium. So just a little geography lesson for those who may not be fully inclined or in tune with the area. But there were a ton of students going to the game. There was a lot of. It was just cool to see. Honestly, I don't really know how else to explain it. It was cool to see for a Thursday night game for a Charlotte team that it doesn't look all that great, is certainly in trouble. And Rice certainly came in and did what I expected them to do. I thought they would win this game, control it, and they did. They take it 28-17. Not a whole lot of implications to this game. I think it's just kind of shows where both these programs are at. Tim Albin has a lot of work to do, and Scott Abel may not be far off of putting a competitive team on the field. That's just kind of where I stand right now. I'm not trying to overreact to it. I'm not trying to act like this is a huge win that nobody other than yeah, like I'm not trying to put it out there as like Rice is now a favorite of any sort, but certainly certainly it could be cool to watch. So just a neat little storyline from Thursday night. As for last night, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have arguably the least surprising result, Iowa with a 38-28 win of over Rutgers. And when I say least surprising, I'm saying that they scored that many points is least surprising, given what else happened last night. But a big win for Iowa. I mean, this is a big deal going on the road against a team that has a pretty tough defense, or is kind of known in that regard as the Shiano era has kind of restarted and built up. You go over there on a Friday night and take care of business. And this is something that Rutgers, did well last year. They had a Friday night game, if I'm not mistaken, against Washington, and I can't remember, but I do believe they won that game over Washington. Um, or if not, they lost by three. It was a really close game, but that's a big win for Iowa to get across. Um, get on the board early. The opening kick return touchdown was probably a huge momentum booster, but the offense moved well. It was just a generally great, um, I won't say great, but a generally good game on the end of the Hawkeyes. Oh, it's because they're playing into a skill set. They're letting him run the ball. I mean, that's what he was at South Dakota State, was a running quarterback, and he's certainly done a good job of that. Yeah, 100%. Uh, now, man, I gotta tell you, I don't think we're gonna be seeing a Mike Gundy led Oklahoma State squad next Saturday. Um, Oklahoma State falls to Tulsa 19-12. Offense isn't going anywhere. The defense is fine, but the offense is not going anywhere. This is starting to get a little out of control, I think. And it's just not good. That's the first time that Tulsa's won in Stillwater since 1951. For anybody curious, that's a big win for Trey Lamb. That's a big win for Trey Lamb. Um, and I just don't know, man. That does not look like a result, a survivable result. Man, I don't know if it is. I'm gonna let you talk about this for just a minute. I gotta go let the dogs back inside from being out real quick. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And thankfully, I could hear everything you said, so even better that I actually know what you said when I had to walk into a different room. So, now, Cam, I don't know if you're familiar with how we do this, but we're going to go through every conference. We're just going to talk a little bit about some of the games that are going on today. Give a little bit of an opinion. It's not going to be we both talk about every single game, but if there's something that you find interesting, you talk about it. If there's something I find interesting, I'll talk about it. And we'll kind of go through that, all right? I know you tune in on Saturdays sometimes, but you're more here on Sundays. Um, so let's go ahead and kick this off. We'll roll group of five on up through the power four, okay? So starting off in the American, we've got some interesting games. I'm gonna save the obvious games for later, given that they are Power Four teams, and we'll save those for those conferences. But we do have an American Conference matchup early here in the season, and North Texas gets a great way to bounce off of their 59-10 win over Washington State. Well, now they get to play Army, and in West Point, no less. Um, North Texas a 2.5 point favorite going in this game. Over under sits at 50.5. Not really expecting North Texas to lose this one, especially the way the offense has looked so far in this season. But Army, on the other hand, I mean, look, they lost to Tarleton State in overtime. But wait, there's more. They beat Kansas State. I mean, they beat Kansas State flat out. So going into this game, it's hard to get a real gauge for where Army is and what kind of team they are. But I'm certainly thinking this is going to be a closer game than we believe. They've played 2 games and have a scoring margin of 0. So like it's certainly going to be a close game. I think we can all agree with that. Not a whole lot else to add. South Carolina State, South Florida. Okay, next. We mentioned it. That's all. That's all I ever promise you is that we will mention games. Okay, I'm not saying we'll talk about every one of them, but we will talk about every single game in some capacity. Um, UTSA and Colorado State. That's your other matchup. That's not a Power Four matchup. Man, I don't know. Yeah, you would know a little more about this potential matchup, obviously being a Mountain West fan. I mean, what do you think here? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, lay down, dog. All right. Okay. Man, what am I talking about? Conference USA. James Madison at Liberty. JMU's 9.5 point favorite. This is one of my take 10 picks. JMU covering 9.5, or it was 8.5 yesterday, but I'm sticking to it. Um, really like what James Madison's done, even with their 2 quarterback system. And a lot of times they'll say, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you have none. And at some point, it's going to bite them. At some point, it's going to bite this JMU team. But I don't think it's going to be today. Liberty's looked bad. They've been bad. Their one win right now is Maine. I'm just not feeling it. I think the JMU is going to win and be pretty comfortable in doing so.
And as far as winning
Man,
goes,
I'm such an ass. Dude, I messed it up again. The audio. Nobody's heard you until
yeah,
now. That's
yeah,
incredible.
I was gonna say that this is the first chance I've heard to listen to the audio. So yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's my fault.
Hi
That's my
guys,
fault.
here's my voice.
I gotta know better.
um, but yeah, so I'll go with JMU does wind up winning,
All right.
but I do think that it's gonna remain a close game.
Delaware and FIU. Delaware playing their first conference game, if I'm not mistaken, here as a part of the FBS now. And FIU, man, they've looked really good. I gotta go with FIU in this one.
Yeah, FIU has surprised me how good they've looked this year. Like
Yeah.
I figured that it would take at least a year or two for them to rebuild a little.
What surprised me is they're still throwing the ball pretty well. Like I know
Mhm.
Keon Jenkins is a pretty solid player, but like they lose Eric Rivers, they lose Dean Patterson, and um you expect like those are your
Yeah.
two leading receivers from last year. You expect to kind of take a step down in your passing game, and rather than that, you're still moving the ball well. You obviously still have Keyshawn Owens, who's one of the best running backs I think in college football. Been super impressed with what he's been able to do.
Mhm.
Certainly one of the best in this conference, if not the best. Um, it's just been they've been fun to watch, that's for sure. Um, Arkansas State plays Kennesaw State today. I don't really have a lot to say about this game. It's going to be fun to watch. Kennesaw State's been fun. Their fast pace is like just it's really fun to watch them move at the pace that they do. Arkansas State, um, not really a whole lot there. I mean, they've got a good team. I'm not doubting them. I'm not saying anything like
Mhm.
that. Their two losses are Arkansas and Iowa State, and they hung around with both of them for a little bit, at least more so with Iowa State. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Murray State and
The
Jacksonville
word in
State.
that statement was little bit.
Yeah, Murray State and Jacksonville State. Cool. Marshall and Middle Tennessee State. Also cool. I mean, I expect Marshall to win, but I don't know. These are two teams that I think are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel in their conferences right now. Uh,
They're both bad
yeah.
teams. So
UT Martin, Missouri State. Nevada plays Western Kentucky. Um, in Hilltopper Country. That'll be a fun game to watch. I think I'm really just excited because I think Maverick MacGyver's been pretty good so far this year. That's kind of been my focal point with Western Kentucky because I think he's going to end up somewhere else next year. They
yeah.
end up being a lower level P4 QB at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Southern Miss and
It's
Louisiana
cool.
Tech. What a
I was just gonna mention
yeah
it's cool to see Western Kentucky's offense look like Western Kentucky's offense of a few years ago with
yeah
Bailey Zappi this year. Like it's
yeah
that's been really cool to see the resurgence of that.
yeah. Southern Miss and Louisiana Tech. I've been surprised that Louisiana Tech's a favorite here. I think Southern Miss has been a really solid team early on in the year. There's something I'm missing, or maybe Louisiana Tech is that good. I don't know, but I personally taking Southern Miss in this game. I don't really see the Louisiana Tech love there.
Yeah, no, same. Like Southern Miss has looked much improved so far this year. Like not to say that Louisiana Tech hasn't, because like I remember last year, like wrote off Sonny Cumby as like a why did you hire him type of a hire.
Hmm.
Um, but so far this year, Louisiana Tech has looked much better, like hanging around with LSU even. Like it I do think that Southern Miss does wind up winning, though.
Yeah.
That's going to remain a close game, though. And if you have ESPN Plus, that'll be a fun game to turn on later on in the day.
It's fucking dogs, man. Anyways, um, UL Monroe goes on the road to face UTEP out there in your homeland. um,
Mhm.
man, what an intriguing matchup this is, right? Scotty Walden's done a good job at UTEP so far. I think really kind of making this team more competitive. They walk into this game as favorites by almost a touchdown. UL Monroe, Bryant Vincent's been solid. He's done a good job for this team, but they certainly lost a lot over the offseason. They're looking for their way to kind of prove, hey, look, yeah, we lost Ahmad Hardy, we lost some of our best players, but we're still a competitive team.
Mhm.
Um, this isn't a bad opportunity to maybe prove that themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I'm I know I'm leaning with UTEP to win, but I think ULM is able to cover. Like they are
Oh,
a
I'm with you.
physical.
I'm with you on UTEP winning. By the
Yeah,
way, to be clear.
yeah, yeah. Like I think UTEP's just a little too much for them. Like they're still getting used to their all that they lost for
Yeah,
ULM over the off season. But so give me UTEP to win. However, I like being only a touchdown favorite. Like I think that's easy for ULM to cover. Just the style that they play. Like they try to slow down the game. They're a very physical team, and UTEP did struggle at times when Texas went bigger. When my Utah State went more physical, like UTEP did struggle against that.
yeah.
So it's sneaky ULM to cover for sure. I don't know that I like them to pull the upset though.
All right. Bowling Green. No, we're ignoring that. Ignoring that. We'll talk about that game in a minute. Uh, UNLV Miami Ohio. That's our first game noon on ESPNU. UNLV 2.5 point favorites. This game's being played in Oxford, Ohio. Um, I mean, I'm obviously taking UNLV because I just think that they are the better team. But this is a sneaky game where like Miami Ohio could finally get their offense going
Mm-hmm.
and put themselves in the conversation. UNLV's proven their defense is not necessarily, you know, um, the material to
That
be able to slow
UNLV,
anybody down. I think they'll be. I think we could see this be a bit of a shootout, but I'm taking UNLV to win.
yeah, like I like UNLV to win. I just think they have too much talent for the Red Hawks. Um, I think that it's going to be a sneakily fun game to watch. So maybe don't necessarily have it up on the big screen, but scoreboard watch it, or like if you're like me, on your second screen of whatever, um, have it up in like some sort of quad box because
Yeah,
I do think that this is going to be a fun game.
yeah,
Um, I like the over in this because the over under is only at 49.5, and I think
yeah,
both of these teams are capable of scoring a lot.
yeah.
So
Yeah, they are. The biggest reason that I think it sits where it does is that Miami Ohio has not scored a lot of points. They've been shut out in one of their games. They only
mhm.
scored 14, I think, in the other one. That's against Wisconsin and Rutgers, by the way. So um, it's not particularly a complete like write them off thing. It's just that's where I think that
Yeah,
number is coming from. So we'll see where it ends up. Wagner, Central Michigan, great. Uh, oh man, Ball State and UConn. CBS Sports Network. UConn's a 20-point favorite, and for good reason. We can move on from that one. Louisiana and Eastern Michigan. I don't plan to spend a whole lot of time on that, but Louisiana is a favorite in this one. Um, we'll see. I hope that
only a
Louisiana gets
two
it
and a
going.
half.
Well, I think it's because of where this game's at. Ypsilanti, the
Yeah,
gray turf does a little something to people. Um, I'm taking Louisiana though to win that game. Uh,
I'm taking Louisiana win to win, and honestly, I think it's gonna be much bigger than the two and
yeah,
a half.
Troy and Buffalo. Buffalo's jumped up to a 5.5 point favorite, and I kind of stand by that. This game being in Buffalo, I look, everybody's buying a lot too hard into Troy right now, I think, and I don't know. Um, oh, they hung around with Clemson for a half. Yeah, well, what is Clemson right now? We'll see. Toledo, Western Michigan. Yeah, I'm all in on Toledo, man. Love what Tucker Gleason does, man. This is a fun football team. Like if we're talking sleeper playoff team in terms of the G5.
Toledo
So
could.
Toledo could do it if everybody else starts beating each other up. I think this Toledo team is good enough to run the table in the MAC and make their way into that conversation. Gardner Webb in Ohio. All right, Ohio's 2-2. Move on. Um, Duquesne and Akron. Uh, Hopefully Akron can get themselves in the win column. They're one of a few teams in this conference that have not done so yet, but we'll see. That'll leave us there. Mountain West. Already talked about one of these or a couple of these, but Idaho, San Jose State. Man, I'm surprised that San Jose State's 0-2. I think they're going to get in the win column today. This is an Idaho team. They are good. I think they remain pretty solid from post Jason Eck, but I'm not really too inclined to tune into this one. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I would not go out of your way onto the Mountain West app on whatever device you choose to watch this. I do think San Jose State wins pretty big. Like Idaho has been able to hold on a little bit to the style of play that they had under Eck, but I just think San Jose State needs a win right now. So Ken
All right.
Niumatalolo is going to come out prepared 100% for this game.
All right. Boise State and Maddox Madsen going to go ahead and take their chances against Air Force. They were 10.5 point favorites yesterday. I got that one as well on the take 10 this week. Really feels like anytime you expect Boise State Air Force to be a closer game than 10 points, it's not, and therefore that's why I take Boise State to cover. I've been bit by the opposite before, but just think that this is a good enough team. I'm not selling Boise State just because of week one. We'll just kind of see where they end up. But I think they'll beat Air Force. I don't really see a whole big need to spend a bunch of time on this one.
Yeah.
McNeese, Utah State.
Utah
Pokes.
State wins big.
Pokes win big.
Yeah.
No.
The
But yeah, no,
Ags
Utah.
win big, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Already talked about a couple of these. Fresno State, Hawaii. Kickoff just before Sunday, just before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff for these two. Pretty pretty fun little game looking to be here with Fresno State, Hawaii. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time on it, but that could be a neat little game if you're still awake at midnight. So,
Yeah.
um, let's
Yeah.
see here.
Oftentimes those games in Hawaii are a lot of fun. Like people struggle with traveling out there and
Yeah,
your body like typically isn't fully adjusted even by 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, as you had mentioned. So because of that, like typically winds up being a close game. Um, I like Hawaii to win. I think it's going to be close, though.
yeah. All right. Getting into the Sun Belt now. We've talked about quite a few of these games already, but we have still a few. Maine and Georgia Southern. It'll be interesting to watch. I'm just kidding. I'm not watching that. Um, We have Coastal Carolina
Jersey
and
color.
South Alabama. I got this one on the Take 10 as well. South Alabama covering at 14.5 is what it was yesterday. Um, it's up to 15.5. I think a lot of the money's following South Alabama here. Coastal looks bad. Um, has little to no offense whatsoever. South Alabama hasn't really lost their offense, even with losing offensive coordinator, head coach, like quarterbacks. Everything they've lost.
They lost pretty
Um,
much everything.
yeah, and yet they still kind of sit back and are still this good. I think that's a good sign. So yeah, South Alabama, I'll take them to win and cover. Like I said, Texas State plays Nichols tonight. That's it. Outside of the Power Four games they have, I'll take a brief look here at and see if there's anything decent on the line for FCS games this week. Not that many people are tuning into those, but
No,
um,
no, a lot of people aren't. It kind of sucks because there are some fun games every week. It winds up being that way at the FCS level, but
yeah.
I agree with you. Like this week, there really isn't anything really jumping out.
No, I'm trying. I'm trying to find some. Actually, here's one that could be. Yeah, it depends. I haven't seen an incarnate word since week 0 when they lost and did not look good. But Northern Arizona and incarnate word. But
Mhm.
that's a. I mean, it's intriguing, especially if we go to based off what we thought both these teams would be preseason. Um,
Yeah,
we'll kind of see where that lands. Um,
yeah. Incarnate
Elon and
what
East Tennessee
words?
State. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say incarnate words. One win was against Eastern Washington.
Okay.
So that could be intriguing to see if they remain undefeated against the Big Sky. But uh,
Okay.
besides that, not necessarily huge.
Again, Elon and East Tennessee State. That's a fun little matchup. Elon being a pretty local team to me is gonna be who I'm hoping to see win. But uh, I know Clay. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah.
East Tennessee State only had like 30 some passing yards last week. Did you see that? Or Cade
No,
McNamara
I did not
specifically only had
see.
like 36 passing yards last week. It was an
That's
interesting stat line.
pretty. That is a very interesting stat line.
Um, just continuing to look through, see if there's anything else that looks fun. Cornell is just now playing their first game this week, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the Ivies start a little bit later
Yeah.
into the year than everyone else. So I think this is the opening week as a whole for the Ivies. I could be wrong.
Um, I saw Yale a minute ago. Let me see. Oh yeah, Brown, Princeton, Yale. Yeah, no, it's the first week. You're right. Good call. Uh, yeah, no, that really isn't shit to be excited about here. I don't think Austin P. I believe Christian might be good. That could be a fun game.
Nova Monmouth could be fun to see.
Yeah, I ain't
I
really
know
sure.
I know Nova's kind of fallen off over
Yeah.
the last year and a half, but those are typically two of the stronger teams within the CAA. So
All right. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and roll into your Saturday if we can. All right. And we found a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to pick out a few games that I want to talk about a little more later on. Other ones we'll just kind of go through, make a quick pick, move on.
yeah, for
Now, if it's an FCS game, I'm talking about it, and we're just moving forward. um, so I'm gonna skip over the noon game for just a minute because I think there's some interesting stuff to talk about there. Uh, Wofford though, Virginia Tech. It's a bounce back. This is game one, post Brent Pry era. This is actually the Philip Montgomery era, if you want to call it that, for the next 9 games. Uh,
Yeah.
we'll push that one until later too. So Bowling Green and Louisville also at noon, ACC Network. Taking Louisville to win that game. Bowling Green's look good. I would be surprised if Louisville covers 25.5, just simply because of how good Bowling Green has looked. Um, but I could see it going either way. Still Louisville wins.
Yeah, I'm like you. I expect Louisville to win, but Bowling Green to cover. Bowling Green hasn't looked bad up to this point.
No. Kent State at Florida State. Great. North Carolina at UCF. This is an interesting game. UCF's a 6.5 point favorite, but I really think North Carolina's going to win this game. I don't. I'm not seeing all the hype around the UCF getting it done here.
Yeah, no, like UCF has kind of been underwhelming up to this point. Like they struggled with Jack State first week and then blew out North Carolina A&T, which I mean you kind of expect them to blow out North Carolina and A&T. Like no
Yeah.
offense to them. So I mean I expect North Carolina to win as well. I think it's going to remain a close game, though, just because at the same time, Carolina hasn't necessarily been great
Yeah.
either. So,
Yeah. NC State at Duke. Look, NC State's unbeaten, but they've been fortunate. They got off to a really slow start against Wake Forest. Were able to come back and take care of that one. Um, I'm not overly impressed with NC State even beyond that though. I'm taking Duke at home to get back on track. I think that they're they've started the year a little bit worse than they expected, losing to both Illinois and Tulane. I think they'll get back on track here, move up to 2-2, and keep moving forward.
yeah, I expect Duke to have a bounce back game as well.
Temple at Georgia Tech, great, but Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Stanford, Virginia. This game being played in Charlottesville. UVA 16.5 point favorites. Not really a big surprise there. I think that the Virginia wins, and I'm not gonna say they cover because I mean I expected that last week. Stanford actually went out and beat Boston College last week, so I'll just say Virginia wins.
Yeah, I'd say Virginia wins. I personally would not bet this line at 16.5 because
No.
I imagine it's going to be about a 17-point victory, so I would not feel comfortable doing that. So I'll lean Stanford cover, but I mean, could be wrong.
Yeah. Cal at San Diego State. I believe this is what Snapdragon Stadium. Is that what they call this place?
Yes,
Yeah.
Snapdragon Stadium.
Um, man, I've been impressed with Cal's offense early on in the year, and specifically their quarterback play. With that said, I think they're going to win. I think they'll cover, but um, I don't know. I'm excited. I would like to see San Diego State stick around. Obviously, I'm a fan of Jaden Denegal. Love what he did. What he could have been at Michigan. Um, if only he had a little more hype behind his name, maybe he would have gotten some playing time. But like what Jaden Denegal is, and excited to see his opportunity against a Power Four opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect Cal to win as well. San Diego State's offense looks like it's much better in year 2 of Sean Lewis. So that's good to see. So I expect them to put up a lot of points as well. In this game as a whole, like I imagine it's gonna be like I expect the over to hit in this game. But
Yeah,
give me Cal to win. Probably cover as well.
yeah. All right, going on to the Big 12, saving a couple games, so we'll kick this thing off with a 6 p.m. game, FS1, West Virginia at Kansas. Um, I like this game. Like I like what it can be, but I'm still taking Kansas to win. I'm not really willing to touch the lines or anything. I'm just taking Kansas outright.
I'll go with Kansas to win. I think West Virginia covers. I think they're going to be riding a lot of momentum after beating Pitt.
It's either going to be.
And so
I'm just saying, it's either going to be momentum or they're going to step over their own feet
or
on
it's
this
going to
one.
be an emotional letdown.
Eh, I don't know.
Knowing Rich Rod, though, I don't think he's going to let it be an emotional lull.
But I'm not saying they get blown out either. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
I could see a world where Kansas wins by right at 14.
yeah, no, like I
And
would
that's why
not.
I'm like I'm just not touching it. I don't care if
Yeah,
I can pick them to cover all day, which is what I would do, but I just no chance
yeah,
of mine.
like I'm just saying, like I lean the cover. I'm like you. I probably wouldn't bet this just because it is that you never know type of a thing with West Virginia coming off of the emotional win.
Yeah.
But I would lean towards a West Virginia cover if I had to pick one.
Yeah. Um Arizona State Baylor, man, I love what this game brings to the table. I really do. This game in Waco tonight has a spot on my 4 box, that's for sure. Um I'm excited for this game. I can't state it enough. I am pumped because this is a big deal. This game, I believe, has serious conference championship implications. I'm taking Baylor to win in Waco. That's the main reason. But I'm still bought so hard into Sawyer Robertson and what this offense can be, and I'm really bought in this defense too. I mean, look, Dave Aranda's done a great job with this Baylor team and what he's put together defensively over the last few years. Give me Baylor to win. It's 2.5, so I don't care about who covers. Um, but Baylor to win this one. Sorry,
Yeah,
because I know this is your boys out there,
yeah.
and
Well, both these defenses have played well up to this point in the season. So 60.5 as the over under. I definitely like the under to hit in this game. I expect this to be a really good, really fun game to watch. It's not going to be a sloppy defensive game. You're going to see two very good defenses playing in it. Um, might be a little bit of bias, but give me Arizona State to win.
it is.
A
It's full
close
bias.
game.
Full
Yeah.
bias. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
excited.
used to that. You
Yeah.
have BJ on.
Well, I'm excited for this game, man. I really am. Like, are you pumped for this game the way I am?
Oh yeah,
Like this is a
no,
big
like
deal.
I am. Like this is gonna be a fantastic game. Like I expect both of these teams to play well,
Yeah.
come out 100%
Like
ready.
you know going into this game that it's either going to be close or if somebody whips the other team's ass, like they earned the ass whooping. They walked
Yeah,
out because you're beating this team. Both these teams know what's on the line today. Both of them do. This is a
yeah,
big tone
no,
setter for
100%.
your conference schedule. Um, Sticking in that 7:30 time slot, another game that I'm going to try to find its way into my quad box. BYU at East Carolina. This is dangerous. This is beyond dangerous for BYU. Freshman quarterback going to Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. Ask NC State. It doesn't work out. Just ask
Yeah,
NC State. It doesn't work. I love the upset here. I'm taking East Carolina to win this game. Love it.
yeah,
This is a signature win early in the Blake Harrell campaign.
yeah, and not just that. Like, so I heard it put this way. BYU really has not done a lot to test Bear Bachmeyer up to this point.
They're going to have to
So
today.
he's about to be thrown into the fire
Hmm.
because ECU's defense is no joke whatsoever.
There's a reason they promoted Blake Harrell from DC to
Yeah.
head coach. I mean, that's exactly why the defense has been good. They've maintained it. They absolutely dominated Coastal
Yeah.
last week, knowing this game was coming up, and you know this game's circled because that's a Power 5 game. East Carolina wants it
Yeah.
bad, and I think they're going to get it. I mean, I stand by it. This is
Like
my upset
I
pick of the day,
definitely,
man. ECU, big time.
yeah, like I do. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. I'll go with BYU wins by a field goal, like a walk-off field goal type of a thing, but it's going to be close, and it's BYU is definitely should be on upset alert. Like this is going to be a really close game and
Yeah.
come down to the wire.
The 10 o'clock kickoff on ESPN hosts Colorado and Wyoming. Colorado a 12.5 point favorite. The Wyoming, Wyoming's getting some money, by the way. Not only have they hit the money line because it was plus 400 yesterday, it's now down to plus 380. But that spread's dropping too, man. People are loving Wyoming, and I'm not. Now I'm not buying the Wyoming love here on this game as much as I would love to. As there's a couple G5 teams that I just have this like weird soft spot to watch win. Now, East Carolina is one of them, certainly. Like if I didn't
Yeah.
like, if you said pick a school, couldn't be a Power Five school, who would your favorite team be? It'd be East Carolina, without question. Now, granted, because I live here in North Carolina, but it would also be just because I loved what they've done. Wyoming is one of those schools that I always want to see do good. It would be awesome to see the upset here today. Colorado's been playing musical quarterbacks. They can't figure out who they want to play. Um, I mean, I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised. I think
All the
Wyoming will
quarterbacks.
cover. I think Wyoming will cover
Yeah.
because I just don't. I don't know if this is gonna play very
I don't
well. Like I
trust the Colorado offense and quarterback play enough in order to not have Wyoming cover. Like Wyoming's still a legit defense under Sawville. Like
again another
I
defensive coordinator promotion
yeah,
that
yeah.
for is obvious, right? I mean, we know why.
Yeah, like that defense is going to be 100% ready for anything that Colorado throws at them. So I do expect Wyoming to cover. I lean towards the Colorado win just because they are the more talented team, but I still think that Wyoming hangs around
Yeah,
this entire game.
certainly. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some Big Ten conference games real quick. We'll start with the noon game on NBC. I think we got like a triple header on NBC today. But Maryland at Wisconsin. I'm taking Wisconsin to win. This game being in Camp Randall is probably the biggest reason for that. I still do not love what Malik Washington's been able to do. I know Maryland's 3-0. Um, good for them, but I don't know. I'm not buying it. I think Wisconsin will win and do so relatively
A hell of
comfortably.
yeah, it's a hell of a story, but the story ends
But
here.
it's not a story because they've beat nobody. They haven't played anybody tough. You know, I was probably a little more bullish on FAU than I should have been. That is what it is. But this is not a team that I expect to really do a whole lot after this. So Wisconsin, Oregon State, Ducks, big move on.
Yeah.
Purdue at Notre Dame. I like Purdue to cover that 25.5 or now 24.5. I think that offense has moved the ball pretty well. I like the under in this game still at 50.5. It was at 51.5, and I took the under there as part of the take 10. Um, just kind of liking where that lands right now.
Yeah, no, like I like Notre Dame to win, but Purdue to cover as well. Like I think Purdue's able to do enough to kind of hang around a lot of the game. If Notre Dame does cover, it's going to be late in the game
Yeah,
and like a last minute type of a thing.
yeah, and even then they'll be up by multiple scores. They may just kneel it out. So,
Yeah.
um, save that one for later. Washington and Washington State, 7:30 p.m. on CBS. Apple Cup, typically good, but Washington covers. I took that yesterday as well, plus 20.5 or minus 20.5.
Yeah, this two pack that looks bad this year. Give me Washington to win
Yeah.
and um, Washington to cover as well.
Michigan State's got to play a 11 p.m. Eastern kick out at USC. Give me USC to win. I like them to cover, honestly. I don't know. I just, but at the same time, part of me is taking Michigan State to cover. So I'm just sitting in the middle on this game. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it.
Yeah, I'll go Michigan State covers, but USC wins. Like it's like not just because it's 11 o'clock their time. Like USC has played well up to this point in the year, so I expect USC to win. But Michigan State hangs around
Yeah.
in this one.
South Carolina and Missouri. We'll go on the SEC. I know it's a 7 p.m. game, but I'm just going to get it out of the way now. Um, I'm taking Missouri to win, and honestly, I'm taking them to cover. Their offense has been good. Bo Prabula has shut me up certainly. And South Carolina, we haven't seen the offensive line play that is necessary, and we also haven't seen the receiver play that's been necessary. It's a really bad look all around. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take Missouri again to win that one.
Yeah, yeah, and that defensive front for Missouri has been able to continue to at least apply pressure up to this point in the year, and that South Carolina offensive line has struggled at times.
No, it's
So
not
give
at
me
times. They've
Mizzou.
struggled all year.
Yeah,
They have not been good
yeah,
one second of this year. They have not
yeah,
played well.
yeah. Mizzou to win and cover though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyler.
No, I'm not. I'm not upset. Which we one step closer to John Summerall. Um, Arkansas at Memphis. Memphis covers, but Arkansas wins. That's gonna be a fun game, by the way. I almost took the over in that one.
Yeah,
I love this game, man. This is gonna be fun.
yeah. I expect Memphis to give Arkansas all they can handle, and expect a very physical team. Teams both of these teams try to establish the line of scrimmage really well and dominate at the line of scrimmage. So I expect this to be a very, very, very physical game. Um, Give me Arkansas to win, but Memphis definitely does hang around and give Arkansas all they can handle.
Yeah. UAB and Tennessee. All right, have fun. Next, we'll skip that. Tulane and Ole Miss. A lot of people want Tulane to pull the upset today, and I'm certainly not opposed to the idea that maybe that could happen. But at the same time, there's a few dependencies here in this game that it could certainly go one way or the other. One of them is Austin Simmons, his health, and whether or not he is able to take care of the football in this game. I think that's a big deal. Um, the other one being just is Tulane legit, or are the other two teams they've beaten the Power Four just shit? not to
Yeah.
not to be too blunt about it. I think Tulane hangs around. I love them to cover that 11.5, but I'm gonna take Ole Miss to get the win at home in Oxford.
I'm pulling this game. Like I think that Tulane does pull off the upset. I like what I've seen from Tulane. Parker Retzloff has fit into that offense really, really, really well up to this point in the year. I think Tulane, obviously, because of that, Tulane does cover. Um, either way, Tulane's going to cover the 11.5, but I like Tulane to win outright, just because I don't necessarily love everything that I've seen from Ole Miss up to this point in the year. Like even without uh, Austin Simmons's health, like they've just looked sluggish offensively, and you can't do that against a Summerall team. Like you cannot look sluggish against that. You'll get hit in the mouth if you do. Give me Tulane to win outright.
All right. Northern Illinois, Mississippi State. There we go. Yeah. Um, Ole Miss lost
Thanks
a
for
lot
coming.
defensively from last year. Tulane is a balanced attack. You can expect those flaws. Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I can see it 100%. I'm just not
Mhm.
predicting that to be the case. What the fuck is this dog doing? Hang on a minute. These damn fucking dogs, man. All right. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care enough about this game. I don't care if game day's there or not. Florida and Miami. Miami. Cool. Are we done?
Yeah.
Great. All right. I just don't care enough, man. This is not a game that strikes my attention. All right,
Yeah, no,
kick
like,
for 500K. Go ahead. You can go ahead and make your point.
yeah, no,
This
like,
ain't any more important.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily in love with this game either. Florida has looked kind of underwhelming. DJ Lagway has not taken care of the ball at all, and this very opportunistic Miami defense is going to force a shit ton of turnovers against them.
Oh, he almost banked it in.
Miami.
Dude, if he'd have banked it off the building and went in, what do you think he would have done there?
I don't have game day up actually. I have YouTube up so that way I can keep up with the chat and stuff like that.
Right. No, I get you.
But he almost made it.
He almost banked it off the building and through. I don't know if like that would be physically possible, but I mean the building is pretty damn close.
That would have been epic.
I think Pat just said he would have counted it.
That would have sounded pretty par for the course there with
Probably.
Pat tries giving away his money as much as possible there. Let me pull that up really quickly.
Oh, he got close. He tried. All right. Georgia State Vandy. Look, I saw somebody write this down as like a free win earlier this week for Vandy. They were like, "Oh, Vandy's path to the playoff is free win, Georgia State." And I'm like, "Okay, last year totally didn't happen. Last year didn't happen. That's what we're going with now." Well, it did, as a matter of fact, happen, and now it's not going to again. I think they know what's on the line here. They'll be 4-0 after today.
Yeah, no, like I still expect Vandy to win. It's definitely not a free
I don't even know how the hell it happened last year. I mean, genuinely, I couldn't tell you how this happened last year.
Yeah, Georgia State, at least offensively, is always able to hang around for whatever reason. Like they're just one of those.
Not this year. They are genuinely bad this year. Like that's not going to happen. I don't think. But I just so surprised at what they were able to do last year in that game. It came out of nowhere. But nonetheless.
Yeah, no, like it's not a free gimme dub. Like no game is actually a free gimme dub.
No game you lost last year is good. You can ever put under free win. That's all I'm saying is you can't put a game that you lost last year under free win.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah, but either way, like I expect Vanderbilt to win.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't touch this line just because it's at 28.5. I think it's going to be about a 28-point win for Vanderbilt. So.
Southeast Louisiana, LSU. All right, take your check and go home.
Thanks for coming.
Sam Houston in Texas. As part of my take 10. Sam Houston covering 39.5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Texas hasn't scored that many points in a game yet this year.
Yeah.
Man, I like the I like that line for Sam Houston. Anyways, Arch Manning hasn't been good. This team has kind of just been whatever. I don't know. There's not a lot for me to expect here. So again, I'll take Sam Houston to cover it, but that's about it. Texas still wins, and they win comfortably. It's just
for sure.
Just
like,
a matter
Texas
of
wins.
The line.
Yeah, Texas wins. I agree with you though. I do expect Sam Houston State to cover. Like in every game so far, they've started fast. They just haven't been able to finish. So I do think that they start fast again against Texas.
Pause.
God damn it.
Pause. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh man.
but yeah, they like
Oh man,
I
I
catch
haven't
it
been
on
able
the
to get
sneak. You're
I
welcome.
haven't been able to get one of those out on with BJ yet. So that's funny.
Yeah, like I just don't expect like like you said, Texas to win, Sam Houston State to cover.
All right, Syracuse Clemson. Clemson's jumped up to a 17.5 point favorite just in the time that we've been doing this show, from 16.5 to 17.5. Over under sits at 54.5. Part of my take 10 this week is Clemson Syracuse under 54.5. And that's a line I stand by. As for this game, I think Syracuse covers just simply because we've seen Kate Klubnik struggle against teams that like to bring pressure. Syracuse is one of those teams that likes to bring pressure. That's kind of a Fran Brown specialty, is creating weird looks and blitzes and making quarterbacks uncomfortable. It doesn't always work. We've seen it not work. We saw Joe Aguilar completely torch this Syracuse defense for that reason. I don't believe that's going to be the case today. We've seen Cade Klubnik kind of revert back to old ways at times early in the season, which is great because it's two years I picked Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman, and he's played like shit in both of them so far.
Yeah.
So I'll never do that again. I don't think I'll have a choice in that matter, whether I do or don't, because I don't think he'll be here. But the point being, I got Clemson winning. I think this is going to be a closer game than people will say. 27-17, Clemson.
Yeah, I expect Clemson to win. I expect Syracuse to cover though, just like you had said, like Clemson has struggled against teams that like bringing pressure. Syracuse foots that bill, so expect Syracuse to cover the 17 and a half. And I I don't love this over under. Like that's about where it
I love
could
it.
be. So
I love the under.
yeah,
Absolutely love it.
yeah. I'd lean the under as well.
TCU SMU. TCU 6.5 point favorites in Amon G. Carter. 63.5. See over under. Another part of my take 10 under 63.5. This game, every time it sits a high line, they drop the under every time, and it sits no different today. TCU's defense about to show exactly how good they are. We thought, oh, North Carolina's offense is just bad. I think they're going to walk out here and beat the shit out of SMU today. I know that this is a rivalry game. I know everybody's excited, and everybody said, oh, SMU, they made the playoff last year. TCU is going to walk out here and just control this game from the beginning. I got TCU winning this one. I'm going to put up 31-14.
Yeah, I expect TCU to win and TCU to win big as well. Like SMU has just been a little underwhelming, and Jennings has been inconsistent with taking care of the ball up to this point. TCU likes to create a ton of turnovers there. Andy Avalos has been great at that throughout
Yeah.
his entire career, besides when he was a head coach. So I expect this to be no different.
I'm gonna save that. That's gonna be the last game we preview today because I just love that game so much. Love what it brings to the table. Michigan at Nebraska. Nebraska's a favorite going into this one tonight or today, 3:30. I'm gonna be honest though. I think Michigan's gonna win. I saw a stat earlier today, courtesy of RJ, which just thankfully he's been in the group chat as well as the real chat. Nebraska is one of the worst teams in the Power Four against the inside zone. Michigan's favorite run play for 5 years now is the inside zone. Well, really, over a decade is the inside zone. But not only that, what we witnessed last week is Michigan opening up this offense. If they stick and they are true to that form and to that, the statements that were made following that game, Michigan should win and not only win, but win big. I think this defense is going to create some issues for Dylan Raiola. People act like he's going to be this great playoff leading quarterback, and I think that's possible. But we watched him struggle just a little bit against Cincinnati. We watched him have some moments against Cincinnati, a team that should not really have been, well, I shouldn't say should not, the team that's not quite as talented up front as this Michigan defense. All I'm saying is This to me feels like prime Michigan's getting overlooked category. Michigan's not being taken seriously because they lost to Oklahoma and they didn't play a very good brand of offense in that game. Michigan's going to win, and they're going to win, I think, comfortably in this one. A couple scores.
I think Nebraska is able to keep it close, but I'm like you. I think Michigan is able to win. Um, that offense definitely looked a lot better last week when they removed the conservative game planning that they had been doing with Underwood. Um, so I expect Michigan with a statement type of a win.
Yeah. All right. Uh, 3 more games to talk about here. Auburn, Oklahoma. Pump for this one. Jackson Arnold returns to Norman. This is going to be a fun game, truthfully. Two teams who have utilized their quarterbacks to perfection early in the year, allowing them to be themselves in the run game, but also allowing them to take their chances in the passing game. Difference maker being that John Mateer is a little more reckless at times, throws the ball into coverage, they make mistakes. I expect the opposite today. John Mateer still going to take those chances because that's who he is. I mean, this guy is what Brett Favre was in college. Mobile and just will sling the rock and throw it anywhere he can. And if it's covered, fuck it, somebody's gonna come down with it.
Yeah,
and that's just the play style. And it works at times and it doesn't other times. I think they're gonna win this game today. Simply because
yeah,
Mateer is going to be willing to take those chances. And I don't think Jackson Arnold's going to be. And here's why. We've watched Jackson Arnold turn the ball over too many times over the course of his career, especially, well, last year at Oklahoma. He hasn't thrown an interception yet this year. That's going to change today. He's going to throw one today. We've watched him kind of crumble against some of the better defenses he faces. This is going to be the best one he's played all year. I got Oklahoma winning just for the sheer fact that they take advantage of their mistakes a little better. Um, I'll take Oklahoma. Let's go 28-16.
yeah. I like Oklahoma, and Mateer, going back to his days at Washington State, and even before that, he's always been hyper aggressive as far as his throws go. And I love the Brett Favre comparison because that is definitely his play style. As far as like how he plays, like it's 100% accurate. So Oklahoma's defense, you cannot play conservatively against. Jackson Arnold has been conservative. We're going to need to see him be a little bit more aggressive if you want Auburn to get the win. So knowing that, like Oklahoma wins, I expect Auburn to cover, though. I do think that it's going to be close. I do think Auburn's going to do just enough to keep them in the game, but I definitely do expect Mateer to potentially have a Heisman type of a moment in this game if he plays really, really, really well.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Second and last game. Illinois at Indiana. Man, I love this matchup. This is two stout defenses, two solid quarterbacks, two decent run games. Just two good teams. Like when I was trying to talk about this game and try to find weaknesses for both of them, there really aren't any. Like they're two teams that just we know what they are. We know what they're going to do well. We know what they're going to continue to do with their game plans. And it's just going to be who's the better team today. I think it's going to be Indiana. I'm taking Indiana to win. I'm sticking to that. I can't remember what I predicted the score to be, but um, I'm standing by what I said. It was 24-20 Indiana. I'm going to stand by 24-20 Indiana. Another take 10 special under 52.5, by the way.
Yes, I like the under in that game. but give me Illinois to win. Pull off the little bit of an upset.
A
I think
Vegas
that it's
upset
going
at
to
least.
remain. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. And remain that way. Like you said, you know what you're going to get out of both of these teams. I just expect Illinois to do slight better job of taking care of the ball over Indiana. I don't expect a ton of turnovers, but I expect one, maybe two out of Indiana. So give me Illinois to win a very close game. Should be an absolute blast to watch there in Bloomington.
BYU is the only FBS team that hasn't allowed a touchdown this year.
Yeah.
Not today. Not after today, they're not.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say that BYU defense is fucking legit.
Oh, they're
They
good.
are
Don't get me wrong,
playing,
but
yeah.
not today.
They are playing out of their mind. Yeah.
All right. Let's close this thing out. Texas Tech on the road in Salt Lake City against Utah. Man, I'm excited. As excited as I could possibly be for a game early in the day like this. This is a statement opportunity for both sides. Texas Tech comes in, they get to prove that they can, in fact, go on the road to the elevation and win. Something they've struggled with. Something Texas teams have struggled with. It's going to Salt Lake City since they're the Utah's joining of the Big 12. But even before that, Texas teams would go to Salt Lake City and get beat simply because they couldn't handle it. This is a tough place to play. Rice-Eccles Stadium, it's always talked about. It deserves to continue to be talked about for that reason. I just love what this game has to offer, man. Two good defenses, two great front sevens specifically. Love Texas Tech's defensive line. But I also love what Utah's been able to do so far in the front as well. Two teams that love to control the line of scrimmage on offense. We'll see that, certainly. But, man, I'm full on. I'm full in on this Utah. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something over here. Jesus. I'm full in on this Utah team. I think Utah wins, and I think it's gonna be a close game, certainly. But I'm taking Utah 31-27.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun game. Expect it to come down to the wire. It seems like Dampier and Beck have been able to adjust really, really well to this new home in Salt Lake City. I know Utah hasn't played necessarily the strongest schedule up to this point. No fault of their own. UCLA should have been better than what they have been up to this point in the year. So Texas Tech has played absolutely fantastic football as well. Two teams that have done a great job up to this point of taking care of the ball. I expect Texas Tech to be a little bit more aggressive, though, especially coming out of the gate, which is something that you need to be careful against a Whittingham coach defense against. Just because they're very opportunistic and they force you into mistakes. Because of that, I expect Utah to win. I think it's going to be really close. Even with it being a 3.5 point game, I expect Texas Tech to cover the 3.5. I think it's a field goal type of game. Give me Utah to win, but Texas Tech to cover.
This is really the first test for the Red Raiders this year. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State. Not a single one of those teams is anywhere near. I mean, they couldn't even sniff the jock strap of Utah today, man. I mean, I'm not trying to make too many jokes, but seriously. You look at Utah, and sure, they haven't played anybody overly tough, but their generalized strength of schedule is significantly higher. And that's even with the UCLA team that sucks giant ass. And I mean, Wyoming, like we talked about, that's a tough team. Utah took a little bit to cover that game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they did. And
like,
Cal Poly is one of the upper echelons
yeah,
of
like
the Big
I'm
Sky.
just looking at overall body of work so far. Like, it's hard to go
Yeah.
against Utah. I think Texas Tech is a good team, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, but I just like this Utah team, man. They came together quick. Devin Dampier came in, Jason Beck came in, and they're doing a really solid job of just just playing winning football. I mean, they're doing a great job, great communication. Of course, Morgan Scaley's doing a great job defensively. Like, this is just a fun team to watch. Um, I'm excited, man. Noon, only at 40 minutes away, so we'll see how it goes
Yeah.
today, man. We will see how this thing goes today. Nah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. This ended up being right around where we wanted it to be. An hour and 15 minutes. We got through everything, and man, what a weekend coming up here that we have. We got
Yeah.
this, of course.
Expect a really good weekend. Yeah.
We got a decent little Sunday of action too when we talk about the NFL slate. I mean, not that any of us are huge NFL fans, but I mean, it's a decent football weekend. Like, it's just going to be a lot of fun to sit back and kind of enjoy what we got, what we have, you know. So, see how it goes. But what a day. What a world. What a sport, man. I'm excited. And then we got great games next Saturday too. Like, we're closing out September with a bang, that's for sure. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Slates feel like they're starting to ramp up
yeah.
as the season goes on. So every week it just adds that one or two extra big games. And up to this point in the year, um, this year has delivered as far as like excitement and whatnot goes. Like it's been a fun year so far. So I expect no different from this weekend. Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm right there with you. So with that, let's go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy our Saturday of college football, and we'll return tomorrow at 10 a.m. with another recap. We'll talk about everything that happened today, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty to find on subject matter. So, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for making these lives so much fun, interacting in the chat. Always a great time. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning again, 10 a.m. Eastern time, with the Week 4 recap show. Have a great day. Stay safe.